it's Debbie with Kip's Corner. Welcome back, and if you're new, welcome. Thanks for joining me. I'm kind of excited because she's done. This is Darling Bees. I feel like I've been working on this forever, but it's just been, it's kind of been a busy summer, so, it took me a little longer than, actually, it probably didn't. Journals always take me a long time. so there's that. Anyway, Darling Bees is finished, and so I wanted to flip through. This is my design team project for July for Tracie Fox Creative. Tracie is LoveJunkJournals on Etsy, and she has just a wonderful array of digital kits in her shop, as well as some classes and things like that. So just be sure and check her out. All of her links are below to her Etsy shop and her Facebook page and her website and all of that good stuff. So LoveJunkJournals on Etsy and Tracie Fox Creative. This was made using one of her newer kits called Darling Bees. And then she also came out with an add-on that is Darling Bees colorful add-on that has more colors in it besides just the yellows. And I've got one or two pieces in here of that kit, but I kind of was pretty knee-deep into this when the colorful add-on kit came out, so there's not as much in here of that. It is primarily Darling Bees. There's also some printouts in here, I think, from Artie Mays and from the Graphics Fairy as well, but the star of the show is Darling Bees. So let's dive in. Let's see, you probably want to know, let's give you some specifics here. She is 5.5 inches wide and about 8.5 inches tall and about 2 inches deep. There are 3 signatures in here. I haven't calculated the number of pages yet, but I will. She will be available in my Etsy shop, posted the same time I post this video. So if you're seeing this video on YouTube, there's a link below to the Etsy listing for this little journal. Okay, so starting off on the very, very base is just some coffee dyed muslin laid down first, and then this crocheted fabric on top of that. And so, I don't know, that just sort of reminded me, I know it's not a hexagon, it's triangle or diamonds, but it just kind of reminded me a little bit of the beehive, and so that's what I used on the base. Then on top of that, there's some cheesecloth, there's a ticket back here, a little tiny bit of ledger paper that says lively underneath it. You can kind of see it behind the cheesecloth there. Lively. Bees are lively, so I thought that was appropriate. A little bit of a beautiful blue trim that's been used in a couple places throughout. Then on top of the cheesecloth, this is an old book cover. It's actually the back of a book that was falling apart, and it kind of had the right, I really liked that color, that yellow coming through. And on top of that, I've put a couple of layers of encaustic wax, so it has, if you can you can see that nice sheen. Then on top of that, these pieces here, there you go, that are darker. And up in here where you can see this dark, that is mica tile. And then on top of that, there is the shutters. And then these buttons, let's see, the buttons down on the very, very bottom and string are encased into the encaustic. And then the button on top is sitting on top of all of that. So just a little fun thing there. And then the shutters, did I say that? The shutters are from Prima Marketing. They were originally gray. I changed the color of them, put a little bit of texture around the edges, grunged them up a little bit, gold splatters, and then on the inside of the shutters, I have a little beehive here. The hive part, I guess that's what it's called, is that's chipboard. And then on top of that, I have distress embossing powder in fossilized amber. And then in the very back, let me see if I can turn this so you can catch the light. Yeah, there, you can kind of see that shine through there. That's drips of vintage beeswax baked texture from Seth Apter, and just dripped in the background. And then this, of course, is just a little metal bee charm stuck on there, and gold splatters all the way around. So that's the beehive, and it stays closed. So, you know, even when this is turned straight up and down, it stays closed. So I didn't put an extra closure onto that. Okay, that's the front. Metal corners, knob closure. Knob closures are my favorite, and they are because they're easy to open and close. All you have to do is push down and pop that sari silk off. This is a grungy sari silk that I've used on here, and you don't have to tie and retie your bow unless your journal thickness changes. So that's a knob closure. All right, here we go on the inside. So I'm pretty sure in a video when I was first starting this, I kind of mentioned that I struggled a little bit with the yellow because yellow is probably my least favorite color. Unless you're talking about like a ochre or a mustard, I'm okay with that, but pretty bright yellow is just my least favorite color. And so I struggled a little bit. And I decided to think about this in terms of textures. So throughout this entire journal, I've used a bunch of different textures. I did grunge up the papers. I've inked all of them, or not all of them, but a lot of them, and used printouts like on the back sides and stuff that were textured digital kits that just sort of I felt like went with the whole theme. And so there's a lot of textures in here. And that kind of helped me. I don't know why, but it helped me come to grips with all the bright yellow. So the first texture in here is on the inside front and back cover. This is Cork Fabric. It's a very, very thin fabric, and you can actually feel this crocheted fabric underneath it, which I also like because I kind of think it just adds to it. I've grunged it up just a little bit with a little bit of ink, and then sort of, the opposite of that is a beautiful, dainty, pristine handkerchief here that I've created a pocket with. And I don't have anything in it at the moment, but I may. So that's the front. Then on there's 3 signatures in here, if I didn't say that already. The first page of each signature the paper has been waxed, and I melted beeswax into the paper. It gives us this beautiful smooth texture, and the paper is, you can kind of see my hand through there. I think the paper is translucent then, or becomes translucent. And so I printed pages from Tracie's kit on the front side, and then I just printed some, it was kind of like a coffee dyed digital on the back side, so you have some of those dirt spots there, which I love. And then I've just trimmed the edges, sewed on some lacy trim there. So again, sort of blending the grunge and the elegant lace together. I think. First second page here, this is from a stencil, I just stenciled with some ink on a few random pages throughout. This is a ledger that was a really wide ledger, so I just folded it over, created a pocket, and I've just got a couple of digitals printed out there that are blank on the back side that you can write on. Just had those slipped in there to that pocket. This is one of the textures I was talking about. This is a bark paper. It's rougher on one side than it is the other, but it's just a really, I don't know if you can see all that texture and the inclusions and everything about it is just absolutely wonderful. This is an onion skin paper here, and one of Tracie's printouts from the kit. And it really is pretty. It's yellow, but it's really pretty. I liked the blues that Tracie used, and so that's why I brought in some of this blue trim. I really liked those blues together. I thought they were really pretty. Here's a pocket from the kit, and just a very plain tag from the kit that's been sewn on and backed with some craft cardstock, so it's nice and sturdy, so you can write on it. This is a type of a mulberry paper with inclusions, and these are sort of grass pieces that are in there, really pretty. More ledger paper. Another textured paper with some stenciling. This is Glassine paper, so now we go back to, we've got the texture, and then we go back to the very, very smooth. This is a printout from Tracie's kit as well, and I've just trimmed the edges here. both on the inside and the outside, and that's my center spread. This is a little glassine envelope. It's a vintage glassine envelope, so it's you know, it's been around for a while. Got a little bee stuck on there, and inside I just have a couple little cards that are blank on the back. Again, more space that you can write on or pull those out and stick them somewhere. You can do whatever. This printout is light enough that you can absolutely write on it. More glassine, more textured paper, more ledger paper, and more of that mulberry inclusion. On the ledger papers or anything in here that I felt like was vulnerable, I've lined the spine with a fabric so it's nice and sturdy. There's more of that. This is a pocket that I created from, and I actually think this printout that I used on the pocket is from one of Artie Mays' kit. Yeah, I think it's from one of her kits. And what I did, I don't know if you can, there you go, if you can see it. This is twine that's just been wrapped around to create a flat circle. And then this is a raffia in a dark brown that I've just used and I've weaved inside the circle. And then on top, this is just a little printout with some clear rock candy on it. So it's got kind of a sparkle and a crack to it. And then I've just added that onto the pocket. And then in the pocket, I've got some French and some German cards in here. I think this one is French and it's wing. And then another little tag made from Tracie's pieces that on the inside has a little bee playing card. And that's an open side pocket there. So that just slips right in there like so. And then that just slips into the pocket. And then this is a digital printout here in the back behind this paper. There's more of her bees. This is more onion skin and more of that textured, beautiful textured paper. Love it. More ledger, and you can see the fabric there peeking out from the inside. And on this side, I did not close this as a pocket. I left it open as a flap. A little bit of stenciling on here, but lots of writing space. And then that is the end of the first signature. Second signature, same thing. The outer piece page has been waxed, so it's got a neat smooth texture. This envelope is empty right now, but I do have some things to slip into it. This is from her add-on kit that is the Darling Bees Colorful Add-on. So there's Darling Bees, which is primarily yellow, and then Darling Bees Colorful Add-on has a lot more pinks and blues and components in it that have some other brighter colors. This is another textured paper, absolutely gorgeous. Some parchment paper. And another handmade paper in a blue. And more of her kit. And on most of the pages of the kit, I spritzed them with some coffee, and so you can kind of see some coffee marks in here and some dark spots. Darkened them up a little bit and inked around the edges, and I just love that. And that's light enough to write on. Here's some more mulberry paper. And then this is just a printout, a digital printout of both of these sides. Then here's a pocket. This is made from one of the papers in Tracie's kit. It's a yellow polka dot, and I just added some stamping, added some more of that honeycomb. That's what it is. I said beehive earlier. It's honeycomb. The honeycomb chipboard, and then a little rusted metal bee here that has glossy accents on it as a protective coating atop the rust. This slips out. This is another little tag with some layers and some labels and things on it, and it's just craft on the back, and another French card for the word garden. So I tried to pick some words that sort of went with bees. Garden, field, more onion skin. This is just an envelope that's in here that I have created a little pocket with. And these are some printouts of some beehives, or bee houses, whatever you want to call those. Vintage bee hives. I left the strings on those too, that can be cut off. This is from Tracie's kit. And then the inside here is very light. This is actually really light. It almost looks darker on camera. Very easy to write on. More trim here. Here's the back half of that envelope. It is open for you to use. And then that's the back of that digital printout. More mulberry paper. And here's another pocket. This pocket is from Tracie's kit. This is some more of that beautiful trim. And then on this one, I did the weaving with the raffia on the front of that pocket, and again later in the journal. And on this one, I did some weaving with, this is quilling paper, paper quilling. I used to play around with paper quilling in another life, and so I have some left over, and so I thought that'd be fun to do a little weaving there with the blues and the yellows, some stamping in the background. And then this guy is a fussy cut from one of the papers in Tracie's kit, and then he's also been waxed, and so he has beeswax on the bee. So that's that tag. And again, the back, more craft paper, more of the paper from her kit, and then just a little bit of stamping with some stamps. It just had some letters on it. So that's that tag. Here's more of this handmade paper, which is really pretty. It's beautiful color blue. And then there's that back side of that page. And that is the end of the second signature. The third signature, same thing. The outer pages have been waxed. There's a little bit of trim here, a little there. This is painter's masking paper, more ledger, and this one has a little fold over flap. More of the textured paper. This is another inclusions paper. It's got some green specks in it. It's really pretty. Parchment. Another printout from Tracie. And then we have a belly band. This is a digital kit in the background here that's just printed on the back side of that. But I really liked the blue. I liked the way the blue pulled out the blues in the pieces here. But let me take this out and show you this belly band. It's a little weird. These are the tops of two tags, cut off and then connected with some more of that raffia. And then this is another piece of the mica tile in the back. And so that's all connected together to create one belly band. Then these are pieces from that same chipboard that I've been using with the honeycomb. A little bit of sewing on here. And yeah. Then inside that, I just have tucked a little journal card that I made. Craft paper on the back. I'll stick that bee right there. And some pieces, a printout from the kit. And then another, just a word card. I thought the word yellow was appropriate to include here, somewhere in the journal. More ledger paper, more glassine paper. There's another printout from the journal. And on the inside here, again, digital print on the inside. But then what I did is I took this trim and I just closed it off at the top and the bottom with some sewing to create just a little tuck spot there. And I've just got a few pieces from the kit printed out in there. Same on this side. This is just a little journaling card. The background was from the kit. I put some stenciling, some drops of coffee, some stamping. That's some cheesecloth and a little bee printout guy there. And that guy. And then this is a German word, to need and use. So to use, I thought that was appropriate because we like to use and consume the yummy honey from the bee. More from Tracie's kit. Glassine, ledger. This is another belly band. Let me take this out and I'll show that to you in just a second. But this is another belly band that I made in the same way as the woven piece that's on the pocket earlier in the journal. So these are pieces of twine, or a big long piece of twine that's been wrapped flat to create the circle, and then the pieces of raffia are just weaved inside that circle, brought around, and then gathered here with some more twine, and then the rest of this is glued. There's a little bit of sewing up here at the top and the bottom, another piece of trim, and then that is a belly band. Then inside the belly band here, I just have just a little mini sort of blank notebook with some vintage papers in here, some painter's masking paper, just some regular paper, scraps lying around, and then I just took a straight sew sort of down the middle. I didn't actually get it right down the middle, but so anyway, there's a little notebook tucked in there for you. And more parchment paper, more mulberry. This is another glassine envelope, and this is another one of the bees that I waxed and then fussy cut. And there's a label back there behind that is in the kit, and I just got some sewing on it, and he's just tucked on there. This one, and actually both of these glassine envelopes, I left the top open so that you have an extra tuck spot back there. This is just a honeycomb little piece. Another word, let's see, German word, field, little ticket tucked in there. And then inside the envelope is a little postcard that comes from, if I can get it out without ripping, it comes from the kit as well. And that's just, I just left it blank on the back. So I like the flowers peeking through there. Cute. More ledger paper. On this one, I did fold it over and close it as a pocket, put some stenciling on here. And I've just got a little baby tag tucked in here. This is a tag from her colorful add-on, Darling Bee's colorful add-on kit. So you can see the colors are more greens and blues, and I think there's some pinks in there. And that is the end of the journal. Back in the back, there's more of the cork paper back here. It's really a cork fabric. It's a cork fabric. And this is the rest of the handkerchief that was used to make the front pocket. And I just left a plain pocket here. Don't have anything in here at the moment, but I might. And then that's it. And then here's the back, the way the closure is affixed. Metal corners on all four corners. And you just push down, pop that on there. And that is the knob closure. With this journal will be a tag that I made. Here we go. I made the tag first, which is I don't usually do. But I knew I was going to be doing a bee journal, and so I played with this, and this helped me then sort of make some decisions about what I wanted to do and how I wanted to move forward with the journal. It's got a lot of texture in the back. That shine that you see, there you go. Looks like honey dripping down. That is the vintage beeswax from Seth Apter, the baked texture, which I absolutely love. Then again, the tops of these pieces I did individually, and they've got a coating of embossing glaze and fossilized amber, just like this guy here in the front. So this is the same. And more of the gold splatters, and then a little metal bee there. And the back is just plain. So the tag comes with the journal. They are companions. If I didn't say it already, I will list this journal on my Etsy shop at the same time that I post this video. So if you can see this video on YouTube, that means that I have posted this journal in my shop. And that's it, folks. That's all. That is my July design team project for Tracie Fox Creative. Thank you so much for joining me. Your support is greatly appreciated. And until next time, bye-bye.